Friday night volleyball here at the Clark Center. Your UMass Boston Beacons trying to get to 500 on the season. They have quite the tough task in front of them in the form of the Wheaton College Lions. My name is Chris Del Sordo, bringing you the action here on the Beacon Sport Network. It's the Beacons and the Lions right after this commercial break.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Test. Test. Okay. Got it. Awesome. Awesome. I need that. Okay, cool. We're here inside the Clark Center. I'm Chris Del Sordo, bringing you the action tonight. High atop the Clark Center, it is your Beacons against the Wheaton College Lions. Wheaton, local opponent from right down the road in Norton. Taking a look at the all-time numbers here, just 4 matchups. This is the 5th. You can still count them on one hand. The team series is tied at 2-2. Last 2 games have been Beacons wins. The last time that Wheaton actually did win a game, it was a 3-0 set win back in 1996. 25 years ago, so they're looking to change the course of history. Tonight, the last time these two teams played was actually 11 years ago now, and it was a 3-0 Beacon win. Shannon Thompson was really the player to watch over the course of this series. 12 kills, a .471 hitting percentage to go along with 7 digs, so really over the course of this series, best Beacon performer that we've had up to this point. Now the game tonight, our match tonight, will feature quite the duo of offensive threats. For the Beacons, it's Marcel Tiscarino, the junior out of she's the senior out of El Paso, Texas, lining her up against the big hitter, Bailey Madrick. Bailey Madrick, just a junior, standing 6 foot tall from Barrington, Illinois. She leads her team with 147 kills. That's 20 more than the next closest teammate. 2.83 kills percent, as you see right in front of her here. And that hitting percentage, it's so impressive, but when you look at Marcel's, she's even higher. Now, Marcel Tiscarino makes her presence known on the net defensively, too. She is tied for first on the Beacons with 33 blocks and a .79 average of blocks per set. It's 2 of the tallest ladies that are going to be out there on the court tonight. They make their presence felt at the net. Rest assured, I am going to be calling their names both tonight. Marcel Tiscarino for the Beacons, Bailey Madrick for the Wheaton College Lions. Now, last time the Beacons played, it was on Tuesday night. They came out of here with a victory. No, that was actually 2 nights ago on Wednesday. A 3-0 win over Southern Maine. And we have a highlight package for you. Let's take a look at how the ladies earned that clean sweep win. We're back, so it was an impressive win on Wednesday night, and it puts the Beacons in a spot to get back to 500 for the season. Now, as you look at the team numbers for the year, much more of an offensive presence by the Wheaton College Lions. They are 9-5 on the season. Almost 2 more kills per set as they're at 11.5 kills per set. The Beacons flirting with 10. Maybe a big aggressive night at the net tonight could get them across the 10 kill per set mark. Hitting percentage-wise, you see it right in front of you. It's what Wheaton does really well, obviously with the help of the big hitter, Bailey Madrick. A team hitting percentage of 21.6%, very impressive at any level of volleyball. Assist-wise, 1 more for the Lions than for the Beacons. And the defensive presence, very different. The Beacons strong at the net, 1.69 blocks per set. Really just a block per set for the Lions. But the Lions, defensive, lateral, they can cover the ground, almost 14 digs per set, compared to just really 11 for the Beacons. So no ball is ever out of play when you have those Wheaton College Lions playing defense on the other side of the floor. Looks to be a pretty close, pretty well-matched matchup. We'll see if the Beacons can play up to the Lions competition and get themselves to 500 on the season. We're about to get started here at the Clark Center. Let's take a quick look at the starting lineup for the UMass Boston Beacons.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Kiosa, a junior outside hitter from Athens, Greece.
Hi, I'm Amelia Chepievska, and I'm an extra super senior outside hitter from St. Paul, Minnesota.
Hi, I'm Allie Dean. I'm a sophomore libero DS from Portland, Oregon.
Hi, I'm Carson Commons, a senior setter from Columbus, Ohio.
Hi, my name is Taryn Brogel. I'm a junior middle blocker from Brantford, Connecticut.
Hi, I'm Marcel Piscareño. I'm a senior middle blocker from El Paso, Texas.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Pereira. I'm a senior outside hitter from Acushnet, Massachusetts.
And as we get the starting lineups coming in for the Wheaton College Lions, let's take a look at the team leaders for the Beacons and the Lions across the board. Amelia Chepievska, we're going to talk about her again in a split second here, leads the team with kills, and she's just ahead of her teammate Marcel Tiscareno. We mentioned that in the pre-broadcast. Marcel, an impressive 35% hitting percentage. Carson Commons moves the ball around well. She leads the team in assists with 334. Alyssa Ruan, you know her on the defensive end, 123 digs. Tiscareno, along with her teammate Taryn Brugel, tied at the net with 33 blocks, and it's Carson Commons serving, leading the Beacons with 30 aces. Going over to the Lions, we mentioned Bailey Madrick. She is the team leader for 3 of the 6 main stats, including kills, hitting, and blocks. Zoe Frantz moving the ball around, 291 assists. It's Sophie Wilhelm, the libero, leading the team with 154 digs, and Adara Hamilton, the team leader, with 32 aces. We'll take a quick pause for the playing of our national anthem here at the Clark Center.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well, but it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
We'll hop back in here high atop the court at the Clark Center. We are about to get started with set number 1 of tonight's non-conference matchup between your UMass Boston Beacons and the Wheaton College Lions. For any of those wondering, that is Lyons. If you didn't know, now you do. The starting 7 for the Lions in front of you right now. Anna Shashin on the outside, along with Bailey Madrick. You will be hearing her name a lot. And Hannah George. Ariana Raja'i, the libero defensive specialist to get the game started. And it's Emily Hickey, Megan Kelleher, and Adara Hamilton. Remember that name. She's a very good server on the back line. Both teams taking the floor here at the Clark Center. The Beacons wearing black with white numbers, white trim, a white libero jersey. Wheaton College in their royal blues with white numbers, white trim, and as well, a white libero jersey. The Beacons, as you are looking at it, hitting the ball from left to right on your computer screen. Wheaton going right to left. One more time. The 7 on the floor for the Beacons. Alex Cosa, Amelia C., Allie Dean, Carson Comets, Taryn Brugall, Marcel Tiscareno, and Kelsey Pereira. We'll fade the music down. We are underway here at the Clark Center. UMass Beacon serving to start. And it's Carson Comets teeing it off. Jumps, puts her hand into it. We are underway. Digged on the back line. It is a play by the Wheaton libero. Shot stays in, saved up by the Beacons. Running hit. And that's going to be an early point for the Beacons as we get started. 1-0, an aggressive run in on the play. In the front line, it looked like Marcel Tiscareno was in the area, but that was from the second line. Possession back to the Lions. Play kept alive by Allie Dean. She'll take the swing over the net, and it is actually, pardon me, that is Amelia Zapapieska. Steps into it, right-handed swing. She will get the first point for the Beacons. So 1-1 as we are in one set. And entering the contest in the rotation, number 11, Alyssa Ruan. Ruan has her presence felt over the course of the season. Along the outside, serve gets across, back set, blocked at the net, up high by Tiscareno. Reset, and it's number 23, Sophie Wilhelm, getting it over for the Lions. Deflection play in 21. That's Tiscareno with the deke. Kelsey Pereira swinging behind the left side, and that is the second point of the first game. Beacons up 2-1, and it's Alyssa Ruan back with another serve. Line drive, swinging left, and it goes long. We're back tied 2-2 as that one out. Ruan coming into the season a 40% server. Number 12, Ariana Raja'i, one of the team's best servers. She gets it over the net right into the middle of the action. It goes back opposite side to the left side hitter, and that one goes long by Kelsey Pereira. Well drawn up by the Beacons. They got it to that power spot. Pereira had the angle. A little too hard on it. It slides out. Second straight point on the serve for Ariana Raja'i. It's 3-2 Lions, and Raja'i heads back to the service strike. Attacks the right side now on a line, and well done. Smart decision there made by number 2, Alex Kos. Decides to let it ride. It swings out long, and we are tied back up at 3-3 after that service error. Taking the serve, Allie Dean for the Lions, or pardon me, for the Beacons, the libero. Gets it across the net, blocked by Tiscareno to keep it alive. That one doesn't get across the second line. Jumping swing. Dean back to save it. It's going to be a long hit from the outside. Lions all over it. In the middle there, Hannah George swings it back. They go across to the right side and a big swing. And Taryn Brugall gets her name into the score set. Beautiful play passed on the backside there by Allie Dean back to Brugall. And the Beacons up by 1 in this first game. Allie Dean, her second set. Once again, swinging from right to left. That one kept alive by the Lions libero. And it's going to be a long swing from the sideline. Beautiful save by Alyssa Ruan, which sets up, wow, a great angled finish, and that's Hannah George, her second kill of the night. And that makes it 5-3 Beacons. So some interesting stats when we talk about this Beacons team. They are 6-7. They're trying to get to 500. Third straight serve here. by Allie Dean. And that one's going to go long. Bailey Madrick, we talked about her very accurate hitting at the net. That one's going to go long. 4 straight points for the Beacons. So going back to my point, the Beacons, 6-7 on the year. When they win a game, they win the match. You heard that right. Of their 7 losses this year, all 7 of those losses are 0 games to 3. If they win a game, any of the 6 matches that they've played, that they have won a game and they have won the match. So that'll be very interesting to keep an eye on. Laser shot saved on the play. And wow, some back and forth action down low. Marcel Tiscareno was at the right place at the right time. But Taryn Brugall couldn't finish. And that looks to be number 16, Adara Hamilton, normally an outside hitter. Down near the net, she gets that point. And Wheaton College finally ends a 4-0 run. It's 6-4. And it sends number 3, Zoe Franz, a sophomore out of Noblesville, Indiana, to the back line to serve for the Lions. Swings it right towards the middle of the court. It'll get all the way back to Allie Dean in the back libero position. Set up on a silver platter and just a smidge long. That was Hannah George trying to find, or pardon me, Carson Commons on the play to Brugall. And that one went long. But now this one long on the offensive hit from Wheaton. And the Lady Beacons in front, 7-5. Nip and tuck first set here, the longest run, 3 straight points scored by the Beacons. Freshman Tony Guerra out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. She steps into this serve, gets it on a line straight back to the defensive specialist, and oh no, it comes off the hands wrong on Taryn Brugall. It looked like she was right in the spot to get a block. Instead, it just kind of slips off of her fingers. Nobody else there to save the point. 2 straight points for the Wheaton College Lions. And Adara Hamilton, the team's best server, now back to the service line to try and tie this first game up at 7-7. 2-step, run in, jumps, gets it across. The play set over to the side hitter there. That's Amelia Zapapieska. No good. Stuffed at the line. Lions have to reset another block at the line. That one into the net. Johnny on the spot there is Bailey Madrick keeping it alive. But now the Beacons setting it up on there. A quick hit over by Tony Guerra. And it's going to be a .1 on Wheaton. There was just, well, that ball was really anybody's point for about 10 seconds in there. The Beacons had 2 set plays. They had clean hits, kept alive by Wheaton. And the Lions have tied this game 1 up at 7-7. Oh, wow, little soft hit right there. And the bat down hits off the top of the net. But the Beacons keep it alive. Zoe Franz over the back of her head. They go cross court. Lefty hit over by Anna Shaheen. Beacons stay with that. Cross court. Tipped at the line, and that is going to be hit over the line. That's going to be a violation on the Beacons, so give that point to the Wheaton College Lions. That's their first 3 consecutive point run of this contest, and they take the lead 8-7. It's Adara Hamilton, her 4th straight serve. We mentioned team's leader in service aces, one of the best serving accuracies on the team. Quick run through, and that was a smart thought on the play by Katie Rennie. Unfortunately, that hit over, it would have found some hardwood. It hits the top of the net. Point Lions. Hamilton, her 5th straight serve, and that is her first ace. And Adara Hamilton, the senior from all the way in the Pacific Northwest, a resident of Mercer Island, Washington. She's feeling herself right now. 5 straight points on the serve for the Lions, and the Beacons take a timeout.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
When you're in college, you kind of find out who you are. And throughout your 4 years, you develop yourself with all the different experiences, which leads into dedicating yourself to your community, to your family. So when you're a senior, you're coming out a well-rounded person.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests outside of the classroom and outside of the court or field. I've had the ability to get into different activities and organizations, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
Getting to be involved in a lot of different things ranging from obviously being a student athlete to getting involved with my campus and my community, and not only being allowed to do that, but being encouraged to do that.
The opportunity to be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, to have the professors know me on a
And we're back here at the Clark Center. It is 5 straight service points right now off the right hand of Adara Hamilton, and she will try to make it 6 as the Wheaton College Lions, looking for their 10th win on the season, leading your Beacons 10-7. Beautiful setup on that play right there. Execution not there. Carson Commons had Taryn Brugal. Once again, that middle hit goes a little bit long for Brugal. Her second error on the night. 11-7. Adara Hamilton, the story of this first game, has turned a 5-7 Lions deficit into an 11-7 Lions lead. Brugal there, great play to keep it alive. Hits it back to Dean. Dean with the set over. Set up and hammered down by Bailey Madrick. It's impossible to miss her, all 6 feet of her in front of the net, and that is what she does. You know, she averages almost 3 kills per set. That's her second already. Lions head coach Craig Letourneau in his 10th season. Heading on the court side with some added instruction. He's got to like what he sees right now as his Lions have turned what was a little 2-point deficit to a 5. A little bit of confusion down there on the floor with the personnel. Ultimately, it's Alyssa Ruan leaving the floor. Amelia Japapieska coming back in for the Beacons. And really, the Beacons will take anything right now to just try and put a little stop to this run. Right side serve, and once again, it skids off the hands of Amelia C. Situated where she needed to be, in that pass intended to get up to a set, it just goes low. 8th straight service point for Adara Hamilton. If you blinked, you might have missed it. UMass Beacons had led this first game 7-5. Is an 8-0 run right now. And another personnel adjustment out on the floor, Clark Center. While the referees are having their discussion, let's go back. Beacons in a bit of a hot streak right now. They have won 3 of their last 4 matches, and their last 2 wins. Clean sweep, 3-0 victory. They beat Emmanuel College at Emmanuel College last Thursday. And then we showed the highlights for you before the game started. A home game right here at the Clark Center. They took on and beat the University of Southern Maine 6-0. So this is a hot Beacons team that you were looking at here as they try to get 500. And it's kind of hard to tell with the masks on and whatnot. It looks like even a couple of laughs have gotten shared there between Coach Houlihan and the referees. It's still Adara Hamilton riding this 8-serve point streak right now, going for 9 in a row. It's funny, you mentioned player success. 63% serving percentage for Adara Hamilton. That is just out of control. And if you look honestly at any player on the Beacons from that offensive service spot, Carson Commons, you know, she does her thing 70%. 10 more aces on the season for Adara Hamilton. This one handled fine by Amelia C. Skies up, and that will end the streak. It's Amelia Japapieska really just reacting off of the return serve. I believe that was, yes, Alex Coast. That set it up to Amelia, and then she finished on the play. So Coast now on the serve. Set up, backside hit, slam down, and it is inside the right line by Bailey Madrick. That is her 3rd kill of this first game. And, well, it was 1 point of momentum, and it goes right back to the Wheaton College Lions. No, that was ruled long, so my apologies on that. Hit ruled long. Beacons do keep the serve, so it's not 14-8, it is 13-9. Backside hit, great defense on the play right there by Carson Commings. Set. That ball went back to Allie Dean, and I believe once again it was an illegal touching at the net by the Beacons. So there is the 14th point of the first game for the Wheaton College Lions. Now, normally Bailey Madrick does all of her damage, right up at the net, but she is back on her rotation to serve. Slides the ball to her left, steps up, soft serve towards the middle of no man's land. It's kept alive. Shapieska with a nice little touch over, and the Lions will reset. That one goes long, and a nice break there by the Beacons. It wasn't a miscommunication, more of a mishit. I believe that was Ava Boyles, the freshman, that just sent it a little too long for the Lions into the net. They couldn't get a play up, and Beacons hanging around down by 4. Karen Brugall back to the net with serve. Jumps into it on the back line, finds plenty of space. Backside play. Wow, diving save attempt on the play by Alex Kosa. And it unfortunately leads to nothing. Beautiful effort. They couldn't set up the left side kill on the play. So another point for the Wheaton College Lions. Games played to 25 here, and the Wheaton College Lions really have had their pause, so to speak, over this first game. They lead 15-10. That's set into the middle of the floor here. Beacon swinging on the outside, and that is how you get some momentum back. It's the senior, she's a graduate student now, the South Dakota State University transfer, Amelia C. off the feed from Carson Commons. That's what she does best. And now Commons at the serve line. Beacon's back to within 4, trying to get a run going. This is their best server. She puts one on a line, and you can't afford to have that happen. It was coming with a lot of steam. It hits the top of the net and unfortunately falls down to the Beacon side of the hardwood. Lions back up 5. It's 16-11. And they send their junior defensive specialist, Sophie Wilthelm, for the serve. She's dead center in the middle of the court. Gets it right back to Alex Kos. Set across by Carson Comic. Shapieska can't hit it. Tiscareno saves it alive. They go backside. That one's saved alive by Wheaton's defensive play. Carson Commons right there. Sets it up to Dean. Outside hit and a beautiful play from the far left side. I believe that was actually number 22. No, that was 21. So Pereira was on the outside, swings it back to Tiscareno, and that is what we needed right there for the Beacons. Just wanted to string 2 points together, and it sends number 11, Alyssa Ruan, back into the game and back to the service line. Bailey Madrick got to wind up into that one, but the save is there by Dean. They go cross court. Pereira almost got the kill. Instead, it's kept alive. Wow, great block on the play by Ali Dean over to Commons. Backside hit, and that came off all wrong. That's going to be a 4 hit and a point for the Wheaton College Lions. I believe the goal was to get that over to Marcel Tiscareno, the right side hitter. It swung all the way over to Kelsey Pereno on the strong side. She wasn't ready for it, couldn't get it over the net. So once again, as the Beacons get a point, as they start to build momentum, not unforced errors, but unfortunate points, swings it right back to Wheaton. And right now, in control of this game, that's not what they wanted, though. That's an unforced error as that serve swings wide left. Alyssa Ruan not really tempted by that all too much. And now the Beacons back to within 4, and they send their defensive specialist, Ali Dean, to the service line. She hits a right to left swinging serve. It kind of makes a meal of the Lions libero there. Wow, diving attempt to keep the ball alive by Alyssa Ruan. It leads to an Ali Dean set over, but now the Lions with an offensive play drawn up, and the hammer brought down by number 9. Or that was number 24, Emily Hickey, converting on the point. Hannah George, one of the team's best setters, will get point for that set. Entering the contest for the Lions, Zoe Franz, she had a couple of plays at the beginning of this game. Part of the reason why the Lions are leading by 5. Serve to Dean, a snipe on the play by Marcel Tiscareno. All of her 5'9" frame getting up there, even the added leverage with the leg scissor, and she swings through, hammers it home. Her second kill of this first game. UMass 13, or pardon me, the Beacons now 14, back to within 4. Let's see if they can string 2 consecutive points here. It's been a tough sledding of that in this first game. Nice setup there by Commons to Pereira. That one goes long. Diving save by Ali Dean, but she can't get it back over to Tony Guerra. That was the design on that play. The effort there, the execution, couldn't get it back across her body. And once again, the Beacons cannot string together 2 consecutive points. We'll go right back to Wheaton College. And if you're the Beacons, You don't necessarily want to see this lady at the service line. It's Adara Hamilton. The last time we saw her, she served 7 straight points. Won 7 straight points from the service line. Right now, we do have a timeout on the floor, so we will take a quick timeout. It's 1914 Wheaton College, game 1.
Personal level, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference. It really helps you develop thinking from other people's perspectives and looking at problems from outside the box.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
I've definitely learned how to really be myself. I found out, yes, I am actually a good leader, and yes, I can actually put myself forward because I am good enough. I can do it.
Coming in to college, I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of different career goals, and I've learned so much about myself that I was always like growing and changing.
When I got to college, it forced me to step up and become more of a leader, and I think that was something I had the capability of doing, and forever grateful that being at a Division III school gave me that opportunity.
You have to dedicate your time in the classroom, you have to dedicate your time in the gym, on the field, on the court.
Our coaches and
Well, it's crunch time here in game number 1 as Adara Hamilton, the best server on the floor for both teams. Now, apologies to Carson Commons, she's right up there. But she went on a 7-point run, and now she's back at the service line with the Wheaton College Lions leading 19-14. The change up there, and wow, it was a nice heads-up play by Carson Commons trying to go with the over-the-head set. It goes wide, and so there you go, right there. A point. Another service win ultimately for Adara Hamilton. It's 20-14. Lions not necessarily in cruise control in this first game. It's looking good as that one goes long over the head of Taryn Brugal. They try to make a recovery on the play from the back line. Does Dean? Nothing doing. And now the Wheaton College Lions on the back of their best server, Adara Hamilton, 4 points away from taking this first game tonight. Hamilton runs in, goes with a line drive, right side serve. Comments go on the set, and there you go. Point back for the Beacons. It's number 19, Taryn Brugal, with a big finish. 5'10" junior from Branford, Connecticut, and that was a textbook hill on the beautiful set. It's the junior number 2, Alex Coase, with the serve. Kept alive on the play. Oh my goodness. That's Bailey Madrick again. Zoe Franz is setting her up on a silver platter. Another assist on the play for Zoe Franz, and Bailey Madrick, her fourth kill of this first game. 22-15. Lions now 3 points away from taking this first game. Little sidewinder action on the serve from Madrick. The setup is there, and the finish is there for the Beacons. That is the freshman, Tony Guerra, from the left side. The set goes through the middle with Amelia C. Guerra finishes it off. Sometimes wearing the white jersey, this time, in black, playing on the front line, and she was the one that scores that hit. Serve on its way in from Carson Commons. An unfortunate touch at the net there. It skids that one off wide. The Beacons thought that they had that because it goes out. Instead, it touches the hand of the player at the net on the right side. Couldn't quite tell who that was, but not important because the Lions of Wheaton College 2 points away from winning this first game. Hannah George, she has had a busy afternoon from her outside set position, surveys the scene, and a discussion between the score table and the referee. So before we get to that, I know we'll hop right back into it here. I was going to have a note on Wheaton College. They've had a fairly similar roller coaster season up to this point. I'm sure we'll get into that in game number 2. Set over. Oh, and a beautiful finish on the play. That's number 6, Amelia C. And a really beautiful touch in the middle. Kind of a soft change-up finish. It found that soft spot in between the two lines of defense for Wheaton College. The Beacons hanging around with their best server at the line now, Carson Commons. Want to hope they can string a couple of points together and stay in this first game. As I said, the way it's gone for the Beacons this year, if they win a game, then they win the whole match. Every loss, they have gotten clean swept, so it's going to be interesting to see. And how about that? 2 points in a row. A little bit of a mishit on that first return for Wheaton College. They couldn't make anything of it, and Carson Commons swiftly back to the service line to try to keep that momentum going. And how about that? You could sense that the momentum was potentially shifting. The Lions, they were just up 7. Now they're up 5. They'll take a timeout. We'll take a timeout. 23-18, Wheaton College, game 1.
The entirety of the athletic department, they valued the student athlete going out to community and trying something new and getting involved in campus life.
You can get involved in so many different things. So the possibilities are truly limitless for what you can do with your college experience. You can kind of make it your own in the Division III setting. So I would encourage people who want to have flexibility to pursue different interests and passions to go D3.
Hi, I'm Tracy Reed, and I'm a PhD student in the Sociology Department at UMass Boston, and I drove all the way across the country from Northridge, California, to be a part of this great program.
I chose this program because of the department's commitment to advancing theory and driving the discipline forward, while also transcending theory and using our knowledge and research skills to address complex social issues as they play out in the real world.
For me, doing research on immigration, on college-aged immigrant youth, this is the perfect setting.
I played a role as a study coordinator, so there I helped develop the IRB materials. I also helped with the evaluation research and got to conduct focus groups along with Professor Hartwell and really actually engage with the project and learn how to deal with multiple stakeholders, which
Well, we're back as the Beacons try to get back to 500 on this season. They are 6-7. They trail by 5 points here in this game 1, but Carson Commons, 2 service point wins in a row. Wow, great dive there by Allie Dean, the right-handed save, and the Beacons win the point. As that was number 18, Megan Kelleher could not recover in time and get it over the net, and that is 3 consecutive points on the Carson Commons serve. Safe to say that the Beacons do have a little bit of the momentum right now. Commons going for her 4th serve in a row. High lofted one goes short, tries to sneak it in front of the libero. Instead, it's going to be an outside hit and a beautiful one at that. Emily Hickey from Kennebunk made her 2nd win, and now it is game point for the Wheaton College Lions as they are up 24-19 in this first game. Beacons trying to get back to 500. They're gunning for their 7th win. They are 6-7. The Lions 9-5, vying for their 10th win on the year. Set up, Comics right to the middle to Amelia C. And Jaffa Piesco with a beautiful kill right in the middle left of the back line. And the Beacons hanging around. It is now 20-24. It's usually how you want to see it. The player turning defense into offense, now back at the service line. Amelia C. runs into it. Long serve, but it stays in. Set goes to the outside hitter, Adora Hamilton. How about that? It was her game this entire game. She won 11 service points for the Lions, and she gets the kill from the left side to win game 1 for the Wheaton College Lions. They now lead this match 1-0, 25-20, the score for number 1.
has proven to be invaluable on the job search.
I feel so fortunate to have gone through the master's program at UMass Boston. I design, run, and evaluate workforce development programs, which is exactly replicating the skills that I got to practice here.
One of my favorite things about our department is that they really put an emphasis on both research and teaching.
My first semester, I took a course in teaching sociology, and it really got me excited about the prospect of being able to share this with other students and to teach this wonderful topic.
The faculty are also supportive in finding scholarly opportunities. I have published with a few faculty in the department and have co-presented with a few faculty in the department at large conferences such as the American Society of Criminology.
Boston is a great place to study sociology because the city is really a microcosm of the world. As an urban sociologist and criminologist, I interned at a nonprofit organization that addressed trauma related to violence in the inner city.
The classes are usually very small We get to interact closely with one another, and the professors really encourage discussion and interaction.
One of the defining features of graduate study at UMass Boston is the interdisciplinary nature of what we do here. In graduate sociology course,
side. Serve gets across, back set, block. Hitter there. That's Amelia Zapapieska. No good. Stuffed at the line. Lions have to reset enough. That's set into the middle of the floor here. Beacon swinging on the outside. Service point wins in a row. Wow, great dive there by Allie Dean, the right-handed save. Set up comics right to the middle to Amelia.
you could be sitting next to someone who is studying public policy, gerontology, higher education, political science. That back and forth and exchange between the disciplines really adds to the dynamic conversation in the classroom and strengthens everybody's experience.
My focus really was on American Indian studies and also criminology. Went to my professors, pitched them my research focus, and despite the fact that American Indian studies is not the main
Well, we're back here in the Clark Center, and as we like to do between the first and second set, let's take a quick look around Beaconville. Coming up Saturday, October 2nd, that's tomorrow already, right? As the weeks just fly on by here. 3 different matchups. Women's soccer on the road at Babson College. That game will get started at 11:30 a.m. At 1 p.m., women's tennis taking on Salem State. And then a night game here in Beaconville. The men's soccer team hosting Marymount of Virginia. That game will get started at 7:15. So if you need a little something to do here around Beaconville on Saturday night, might as well watch the boys play some soccer. That game once again getting started at 7:15. Both teams back out on the hardwood here as we are going to get started with the second set. My name is Chris Del Sordo, bringing you the action here on the Beacon Sports Network, and would like to say thank you to Beacon Nation for welcoming me in with open arms. My first broadcast here, going to be here for the whole year. Very excited. So, thanks already for bearing with me, and I promise it's only going to get better as we go across this year. So, Zoe Franz, one of the big assist players in the first game, she'll get us started with a high right to left serve. A quick little push point, and that is in for Amelia Zapapieska. Once again, as we mentioned, a D1 transfer from the Midwest, the Great Lakes State up there in St. Paul, Minnesota. She played her college volleyball before here at South Dakota State, and she gives the Beacons a 1-0 lead. Carson Clemens had a nice little run serving at the end of that first set. She'll get the first set off game number 2 for the Beacons. Zoe Franz, a high set blocked at the net nicely by Amelia C. She gets a swing through it. Zoe Franz right there over to the libero, Ariana Rajayi, and that a little confusion in front of the net. And I believe it's Adara Hamilton going to get the point for the kill. It went right into the hands of Amelia C. Couldn't save it, and we are tied back up at 1-1. Now that first game, it was not really nip and tuck. It was more a game of dramatic runs. The Beacons were chipping away. They had a lead. Wheaton ended up scoring 7 straight service points. It ballooned their lead out. The Beacons could never catch back up. You'd like to think, and that is a stuff at the net by Marcel Tiscareno. Next to her was Kelsey Pereira, but Tiscareno climbs the ladder. That is her second block on the night, her first of this game. And once again, it's the Beacons taking a 1-point lead. It's 2-1. And what I was getting at is, you'd like to think the Beacons have won a lot of net points in this game. If they can just keep this close, they might be able to scrap out a game win. And you can't ignore this statistic enough. If the Beacons were to win a game, then as the season's gone, they have won. Every match they lost, they have been clean swept. Nothing. So you got to hang in here. You look up at the scoreboard and see a 1-1 match. Well, they're right back in. Right now, it's just a 2-1 lead in game number 2. High serve, long set across the court, running in on the play was Anna Shaheen. But the Beacons keep it alive. That is a long attempt at a cross-court kill by Michaela Garrity. The first time we've called her name tonight, the junior outside hitter from Elgin, Illinois. And it goes just long. I like where her head was at there. Play looked good. Ball goes just a bit long, and this FIP puck, game number 2, back even at 2-2. Allie Dean right there in the middle of the floor. The set to Tiscareno, and that is a block at the net. Bailey Madrick actually was on the outside line on that play. That was number 18, Megan Kelleher, her second block on the contest. Game 2, 1-point lead for Wheaton College. There's Bailey Madrick back on the service line. An ample server for such a big outside hitter. Great block on the play by Madrick, the aforementioned. It's Adara Hamilton, just has to get it over on the third hit. Commons, forward set to McGarity. Wow, play was kept alive by Dean, but Amelia Shapieska, her momentum took her back on the play. Needed to really awkward hit that ball forward over the net. And that is the third straight point of the second game for Wheaton, and they're up 40. So third serve in a row here for Bailey Madrick. Straight to Amelia C. Over to Commons. Backside set. Pereira can't finish the kill. Wow, defensive dive by Shapieska. It goes cross court to McGarity, and she will get the point. Eats Adara Hamilton alive. On that long play, that ball would have stayed in. Hamilton couldn't take the risk to let it go out. And that is the first kill for McGarity. Allie Dean back at the service line now. Popped it up. Once again, Zoe Franz right there with a beautiful set, but a save by Dean. Commons over. Tiscareno makes contact with the net, and that point will go to the Lions. It was drawn up beautifully. It was executed beautifully, and unfortunately, illegal contact with the net by the native of El Paso, Texas. It gives the Lions their 5th point of the game and a 2-3 lead. Hannah George had a lot of action right at the beginning of game number 1. Didn't call her name that much towards the end of one. She back at the serve. A line drive serve. It was sinking fast. Must have saw something there in between the first and second line, but could not get the ball over the net. Point Beacons. And this has been a very back and forth second game. It sends Tony Guerra, the freshman, at the service line to try and tie this back up at 5. It is 4-5 Wheaton College. Cross-court set, and that one will stay in. Beautiful finish by Emily Hickey, the offside hitter. She kind of looked like she was going to go with a left-to-right approach. Instead, swings it right down the left line, keeps it in. Beautiful accuracy by Emily Hickey on the play. And now a Lions serve from the far side. Handled very nice by Kos. Over to Amelia C. and Japieska with a swat from the midline. Kill in the back right corner. And the Beacons have executed well on any ball that really hasn't been a play up in the air. The drawn-up plays have worked so far. The accuracy is great, and I don't know what happened on that play for Wheaton College. That's Megan Kelleher. Kind of just flubbed that one right into the net. Wanted to set it up, couldn't make the hit over. She turned around and apologized to her coach right after she mishit that. That was a nice moment, honestly, forgave her. But we're tied 6-6. Adara Hamilton. That one is going to go long. It looked good. Swings just long. Wise decision by the libero there, Allie Dean, to let it go. Tough call. She guessed right, and the Beacons back up 7-6. Michaela Garrity, she just got a kill on the floor. That serve into the net, and just like that, Lions back up 8-7. Ariana Rajayi, the starting defensive specialist, her rotation didn't take her back to the service line that much in the first game, but she's up here. Puts one right in the middle of the floor. It sets up Carson Comics over to Amelia C. An overhand right kill. It doesn't go, blocked back. But that will be a point for the Beacons as the set goes short. Emily Hickey cannot get to the ball and get it over the net in time. And how about that? Beacons chipping away here. They will go back up 1. This is what we said. You couldn't... The Beacons right now, as it looks against the strong outside hitting from Wheaton, cannot let them go on a run. But if you stay point by point, the Beacons very much can will themselves through this game. That was an absolute technical finish from the outside. And a point for Wheaton College to tie this back at 8. The diving effort on defense was given by Taryn Brugal on the back line. Couldn't save it. Back to the Lions and back to Zoe Franz. cross court. Commons over to Amelia C. Handled easily by Sophie Wilhelm. This one saved nicely. Pereira sets herself up on the kill. Handled well by the Lion. Allie Dean, another right-handed dive. This one's into no man's land, but Amelia C. Smart play just to hit it back over the net with a backward pass. Block on the play by Amelia C. It spins just out of reach from the dive by Allie Dean. And it's a point for the Lions. Allie Dean listed on the roster at 5'4". You'd like to think maybe she was 5'5", could have saved that one and kept it alive. As it is, Zoe Franz going for her second point. Comics, low pass over to Pereira. She's just going to have to hit it up to keep it alive. The set over to Franz, outside to Hamilton. Great save on the play by Pereira. Comics backwards. It's just going to have to hit over by Tony Guerra on the play. And now Adara Hamilton can line into this, but a save by Garrity. Cross court to Pereira. She hits it towards the middle. Beautiful save by Wilhelm. Back over to Modric. Been kind of quiet in game number 2. It's blocked well. Dean back over to Pereira. Once again, handled nicely by Wilhelm. This time, that's number 7 on the swing, Juliana Flack. She hits it right to Garrity. Garrity gets it over the net, but out of bounds. And so Wheaton College, they're the first team in a double digit into this second contest. They lead this match 1-0. They lead game number 2, 10-8. And Zoe Franz going for her 4th consecutive service point. Called her name a lot, just a sophomore out of Noblesville, Indiana. And that is another win as that serve kind of eats up Tony Guerra a little bit. Ends up going down to the ground. Can't hit it cleanly, can't pass it off. And what was an 8-7 Beacons lead, once again, this is what happened to the Beacons right about this point of game number 1. Adara Hamilton took a 5-7 Lions deficit, turned it into an 11-7 Lions lead. They never really had to look back after that. Similar situation right here. Zoe Franz had the Lions down 7-8. 4 consecutive service wins. It's the same rotation right now for Wheaton College. And the 9-win team looking in good shape as they're aiming for their 10th. But that one, you know, maybe I can just give the kiss of death to every player on the floor. I talked about how accurate Zoe Franz was serving. That one, well long, a point back to the Beacons, and now their best server, Carson Kamensk, toes the service line, the grad student from Worthington, Ohio. They're trying to get the Beacons to the double-digit mark in this contest. Tosses it high, no spin on that serve, it gets deadened. Franz over to Flack, and that one just long. Allie Dean reading the angles perfectly. That's her second time in game 2, wisely letting a ball go out of play. It goes just long on the big hit by Flack, and the Beacons now trail by 1. We have Commons gunning for the tie. Up, over, straight to the libero Rajai. Right side hit to Bailey Madrick. She's been quiet in this second game, and that one beautifully defended by Allie Dean. Bump pass over to Hamilton. Save, Commons, set backwards. Amelia C. finds the dead spot in front of the second line, and the Beacons tie this game back up at 11. Wheaton College is leading 1-0, but this game tied at 11, and the Beacons showing a lot of fight and some acumen around the net right now, winning the net points. Carson Commons for her 3rd consecutive service point. It tips the net. That's alive. Franz over to Commons. Back to Amelia C. The slam, and it is down. It finds some hardwood. Ariana Rajai, she leaned left. The ball deflects right, and the Beacons, 4 consecutive points off the right hand of Carson Commons. That game of runs that we saw in game number 1, it's back here in game number 2. Commons for her 5th now right into the net. So that was the same situation. Zoe Franz got 4 consecutive serves. She tried to take the top off and really let it rip, and she went long. Carson Commons tried to take the top off and just hit a line drive right over the net and hits it square into the net. So we are tied back again at 12. And now the lady of game number 1, Adara Hamilton, toes the line. Run up and a pop serve this time. Saved nicely by Garrity. Cross-court hit, Pereira. No. Kept alive by Rajai. That's a beautiful block. Pardon me, a beautiful block of the net by Amelia C. to keep it alive, and that hit goes long off the right hand of Adara Hamilton. She had a lot of space along that left line, hits it out. And the Beacons back up by 1 at what is turning into just a nip and tuck game number 2 here. Really, the Beacons looking like the better team on executed play points. The balls that have been up in the air have kind of gone both ways here in game number 2. This is going to be a long swing, a pop-up to get over by Kelsey Pereira. We'll go back cross court, and that was an impressive looking finish on the play by Juliana Flack. Her second kill of this second game. We didn't see all that much of her in game number 1, but the 5'11" sophomore making her presence felt. And once again, tied up, 13 apiece. A back and forth affair there as a dive keeps it alive for Wheaton College, and their fans applauding. Appropriately so. Amelia Sapapiesco had a great look at that kill, went a little bit long, and so Wheaton survives what could have been disastrous on that first return. They do win the point. So it's Bailey Madge again, really getting an added bonus out of what is just a run-of-the-mill serve, where she does most of her damage at the net. Right now having a nice game on her points from the service line. Allie Dean pops it up to Amelia C. Over to Kayla Garrity and give her the kill on that. It's off the hands of Flack. It finds some space. Basically, when one team punches, the other team parries and counter punches, and we have ourselves a nice little heavyweight fight here in the Clark Center. It's 14's up. Allie Dean with the serve. That one kind of eats up for Jai. She has to hit it long. It's actually Flack hits it over the net. Japapieska set over, and some unfortunate miscommunication there. I think Tiscareno thought that was going to go over her head on a play to Brugal instead. It was to Tiscareno. Can't make contact. Unforced error on that play for the Beacon. And a 15-14 lead for the line. Pop-up serve off the right hand of Hannah George. Tiscareno going for the kill, and actually, how about that? Must have been a touching of the net because it was handled well by the Lions on that play. But we're tied at 15 again. Marcel Tiscareno, we talked about her before the game. Just makes things happen when she has the ball and has the choice of what to do with the ball around the net. It gets it back us to a 15-all game. Really, no room to breathe in this second game of this contest. Didn't see, oh, okay, yes, that was number 24, Emily Hickey. Hickey and number 7, Juliana Flack, similar looks out there on this volleyball court. Hickey gets the kill. Wheaton takes a 1-point lead. And it's Sophie Wilhelm, the defensive specialist, running in, high jump. That was handled by Kayla Garrity, and I don't know if that was her spot to take that because Allie Dean wanted to do a bump pass forward. Garrity, kind of a miss hit there. It swings off to the left, out of bounds. And now a 2-point lead for Wheaton. That was our first in about 10 points. Our first time that one team has won 2 consecutive points here. Hannah George with the hit over. Well, that was a beautiful backward save there by Wheaton. George again, run up. No, save. Backwards. Kept alive by Hickey. Dean, backwards play. Japieska can't hit the pass over with the two-hand set. And now Adara Hamilton has all day, and she rockets it in between Allie Dean and Tony Guerra. And it is a point for Wheaton College. It is their 3rd consecutive point, and it leads to a Beacons timeout. It's game 2. Wheaton College leads 1-0. They lead game 2, 18-15.
Main focus of the department, I was met with, okay, let's research it, let's do it.
As someone who does research on immigration, race, and ethnicity, I think that it's important to be prepared for both applied research as well as to teach these different areas. And I really feel confident that this department has prepared me to do both.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online.
Non-conference volleyball. What a way to spend a Friday night. We're here at the Clark Center. We have a fun game. Wheaton College gunning for their 10th win of the season, leading your Beacons 18-15 in game number 2. Carson Commons over to Kayla Garrity, had a nice, clean swing and an attempt at a right side kill. Goes out, it goes long, and Wheaton now, their 4th consecutive point on the serve of defensive specialist Sophie Wilhelm. She's a 5'3" junior from Saunderstown, Rhode Island, and she just won her 5th consecutive service point as that one found some space over the top of the back line. Amelia Zapieska, 6 foot tall, but couldn't get down to the ball in time. And this was the way Wheaton finally stretched out in game number 1. Those service game runs. It was a Dara Hamilton game 1. It is Sophie Wilhelm game number 2, and that is the way that game number 2 has just started to go for the Beacons. Hannah George had a wide open pocket of floor right there. Had a good swing on it, and it just hit the top of the net and takes the roll you don't want it to take. That is the 6th consecutive service point and our 2nd consecutive Beacons timeout. We will take a quick break here at the Clark Center. It's 21-15 Wheaton in game number 2.
Fine. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there is a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really...
Well, Sophie Wilhelm is the woman of the hour here for the Wheaton College Lions, running a streak of 6 consecutive one-service points. It is Wheaton College 21, UMass Boston 15. Wheaton 9-5 on the season. They're going for their 10th win. And they're 4 points away from securing game number 2. Not quite sure what happened there. I think the Beacons had a designed play on the return. Instead, Allie Dean a little bit out of position. She cannot dive forward. I sound like a broken record, but you can't ignore it. Sophie Wilhelm, she's feeling it right now. High jump, line drive serve. This one directly to Guerra. Backside play to Amelia C. And, well, run out. Wilhelm is under it. Wheaton College going to keep that one alive, and a beautiful play by Rajai to keep it in, and that hit is going to go long. And wow, everything coming up Wheaton College all of a sudden. I mean, everything was drawn up there for the Beacons to capitalize at a couple of different opportunities on that point. Wilhelm, the server, is able to run all the way back to the basketball baseline to keep it alive. Rajai passes it over the head, and then the miss hit out of bounds. Wheaton, 8 consecutive points, and they are 2 points away from taking game number 2. Basically doing it solely off the right hand of Sophie Wilhelm. Garrity swings. It is blocked at the net. Adara Hamilton with the block. She's winning from the inside. She's winning at the net. And the Wheaton College Lions are winning on the volleyball court. It's 24-15. Sophie Wilhelm gunning for her 10th consecutive service point and the game 2 win for Wheaton College. Puts the right hand up, runs in, slaps it, and that one will go short. Finally, the Beacons do catch a break in the second half of this second game. Is it too little too late in this game? Law of averages might say yes, but it's Michaela Garrity trying to keep the Beacons in it. Her rotation takes her to the back service line. Here's the 5'8" junior from South Elgin, Illinois. Gets the coaching. Coach Houlihan takes a step into it. Spinning serve. It spins from left to right. Oh, and a beautiful finish on the play. That's number 18, Megan Kelleher with a soft touch. It falls in front of the back line of the Beacons defense, and it is the 2nd consecutive game 1 for Wheaton College. They take game number 1, 25-20. They take game number 2, 25-16. We will take a break here at the Clark Center. It's 2-0, Wheaton College leading. We'll be right back with more after this.
Really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, where it's so much better to have like an advisor helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
People at UMass Boston, they're here because they know they can have an impact, not just on research, but on people, on their students.
This is just a starting point. It only has potential to grow, and it has a big potential to grow up.
You're really having a direct impact on people's lives, and you can see that now, and you can see that years from now.
So I think it's becoming like the place that people want to go.
What UMass Boston is able to offer to its young people certainly stands out to that mission that was set right out in the beginning. It's something UMass Boston should be and can be very proud about.
UMass is very public service focused, and it piqued my interest, and I started doing more research on it. I'm very focused on what can I do to make the world around me a better place. My name is Lydia Grasso. I'm a junior at UMass Boston studying sociology and minoring in human rights. Because I won the Chancellor's Scholarship at UMass, it allowed me to go to Cambodia. I was working at the
Well, the Beacons on the defensive here at the Clark Center. They trail 2-0. It was the same story in both games against the Beacons. Wheaton College, they found a server with a hot hand, and they rode her as long as they needed to. It was Adara Hamilton game 1. Sophie Wilhelm, game number 2. Carson Kamensk, the grad student, the best server for the Beacons, getting this game 3 started. Runs in, right-handed serve, spinning right to left. Kept alive on the play by Hannah George. Allie Dean with a big setup. Tiscareno, wow. Push kept alive by Hamilton. That's an illegal touching at the net by Wheaton College. So Tiscareno will get the kill. And it's an early 1-0 lead in game 3 for the Beacons. The key for the Beacons this year, winning a game, they win the match. All 7 of their losses, clean sweep losses. Anytime they have won a game, they have won the match. And that is huge right there. It's Amelia C. using that 6-foot frame to take up the middle of the net, slamming it home. And 2 unanswered points. Good little start here for the Beacons. Comments going for her 3rd consecutive service point. Rajai, right side bump. Hannah George back over. Flack. It's saved by Dean. Oh, Pereira cross-court swing, and it's just, and I'm talking just long on the outside. Pardon me, that was actually number 2. Alex Coase all the way from that outside spot. She almost tucks it inside the right sideline. Goes a little long. Ambitious play, that's what you have to do when you're trailing 2 games to nothing here in the middle of a match. Point does go back to Wheaton. It's our first time looking at Isabella Coca serving, and that ball really betrayed Marcel Tiscareno. Comments tried to go with the right side set, and it really just kind of kept posting away from Marcel. She can't get the swing to it in time. 2 consecutive points for the Lions. Coca's serve goes to the back left corner, and really that play was just disjointed and discombobulated from the start. Tiscareno's pass back to Amelia C. It put her in a bad spot. She almost was able to get the backside pass over the net. Instead, 3 straight points for Wheaton College as they try to close this match out here in game number 3. They won game number 1, 25-20. They won game 2, 25-16. Adara Hamilton leading the way in game 1. Sophie Wilhelm in game 2. And there is another net point for Marcel Tiscareno. She was the player that we told you to watch before the game started. In the middle of the net alongside her teammate number 2, Alex Kos. We're tied back at 3 here in game number 3. Amelia C, the line drive serve. It'll lead to a swing through by Emily Hickey. Saved back by the Beacons. Michaela Garrity keeps that one alive at the net. Played backwards by Allie Dean. Kos with a big swing attempt to try and steal a winner from the back line. It goes a little long. Wheaton College back in front early in this game number 3. 4 points to 3. Now Wheaton College, it's 9-5 for them on the season. Not all sunshine and rainbows. It's been really quite a roller coaster ride for them to get there. More of a battle-hardened 9-5 team than most as Allie Dean takes that set. Tiscareno gets blocked, is able to keep it alive, but Carson Commons nowhere to go. Can't hit that back over the net. Point is won by the Lions, and they've won 3 straight here. It was a 6-game winning streak for Wheaton College that they started the season on, including 4 straight 3-0 match wins. They then lost 4 of their next 5. They're coming into this game having won 3 of their last 4. So it has been a roller coaster of emotions for the Lions this season, as that one hit long by Bailey Madrick. We said Bailey's name a lot in game number 1. Not a lot of net points won for her in game number 2, that 6-foot-tall, all-everything player on the front line for the Lions. Now, she made her presence felt in game 2 with a couple of clutch service point wins. That's a kill for her there, 5-4 lead. So it's the Beacons on the serve, having stolen that point back. This one, a fortuitous play right into the middle for Carson Commons, backside set, and that's Marcel Tiscareno, and she is having herself quite a night at the net. A couple of defensive blocks. I believe that's her 5th kill on the night. We'll get right back to confirm that for you in a split second, but 2 straight points for the Beacons as that Ariana Rajayi play goes right into the net. I'm not sure if she meant for that to be a pass over or just a pass. Well, it didn't hit either target. And the Beacons are back up front, 6-5. It's game 3. Wheaton College currently leading this match 2-0. Adara Hamilton, long play to the backside of the back line. And Marcel Tiscareno, have yourself a game number 3. The pass was right where it needed to be, but that swing, it's just take it out of a volleyball textbook. Pick your spot, get the point. That time she attacked the left side of the front line, and it's 7-5 Beacons. You gotta love to see that. Big-time players making big-time plays. The Beacons are fighting to stay in this one, and now 3 consecutive points as that's an illegal touching against the right antenna. It looks like that was Emily Hickey committing the foul. She will get pulled, and there will be a timeout. So yes, the Beacons very much holding momentum. We'll take a quick break. It is Beacons 8, Lions 5. Beacons trail 2-0 in this match.
Unique Hospital Center of Hope. I was in the place of something horrible that had happened. I could either go home and kind of forget about that experience and kind of block it out, or I could do something so that things like that never happened again. UMass provides me with opportunities that I wouldn't get anywhere else and gives me a global perspective in a public setting. I definitely transformed at UMass.
Psychology is about understanding the individual and understanding the mind.
The main reason why I want to combine psychology and business degrees is because I want to understand the business decisions that are made. I'm Nurçin Çelebi. I'm from Turkey originally. I'm a senior at the 5-year BA to MBA program at UMass Boston. I think in management, the biggest mistake you can make is to not listen. So I want to be able to step into a company and say, here's what you're doing now, and here's how you can improve it. I moved here when I was 16 for high school.
We're in the middle of a timeout here at the Clark Center. The Beacons in front in game number 3. Before we hop back in, a quick look at around the Little East Conference. Southern Maine playing UMass Dartmouth, Rhode Island College at Plymouth State, Eastern Connecticut State at Keene State, all of those games at noon, and then Castleton at Western Connecticut State tomorrow at 1. That's what's happening around the LEC. Now, let's get back into it. It's Allie Dean with the serve for the Beacons, who lead game 3, 8-5. Cross-court pass sets up Adara Hamilton. That time the hit to Allie Dean, she's right there. Little miscommunication, but the play is kept alive by Taryn Brugal. Oh, but it sets up a snipe. There's Bailey Madrick. We hadn't called her name too much at the net. Can't keep a good woman down. She takes advantage of a ball on a silver platter and brings the Lions back to within 2. It is 8-6. There's Zoe Franz. Basically, when she has been on the hardwood for the Lions, good things have happened. Really, about 50% playing time. A couple of big service runs. A lot of great offensive assist play. She gets that one over the net. It hits the top of the net on the way over. But now the aforementioned Franz with the big set to Adara Hamilton. Oh, it is a 3-woman show tonight for the Wheaton Lions. Franz on the outside, Modric on the inside, Hamilton going inside and outside, and the 3 of them doing all they need to do to keep Wheaton in this contest. It is now 7-8 in game number 3. Franz. Not a big run in this time. High serve. Amelia C. over to Carson. To Tiscareno. Wow, diving save by Rajayi. An unbelievable placement. Oh, it goes right over the net. Drops straight down. No angle for the Beacons to keep that alive. And, you know, Ariana Rajayi might have a horseshoe that she's holding on to here. The rabbit's foot something. She is keeping a lot of these plays that are just dead in the water for Wheaton. That's her second in game number 3 to keep it alive. Zoe Franz over to the aforementioned Rajayi. Adara Hamilton having a great game tonight. That play kept alive by Carson Commons. Unfortunately, no real angle for Michaela Garrity to convert. And just like that, how about that? The Beacons, they were leading by 3. It's Zoe Franz at the service line. It's 4 straight points. And just like that, Wheaton leading by 1 in this 3rd game. Carson Comics off the Allie Dean return over to Garrity. It's kept alive by Coco. Cross-court pass blocked down on the play by Brugal. And the Tiscareno kill is saved by Franz. That block at the net will go out of bounds, so a great job of positioning there by number 14, Michaela Garrity. Couldn't execute as the block does go out of bounds, so give the point at the net to, I believe that was number 7, Juliana Flack. All of a sudden, it was the Beacons with the momentum at the first part of this, at the first half of this game number 3. Well, now we're in the middle of it, and it's all Wheaton College Lions. Once again, they are taking a little bit of this momentum. We have a 1-minute break, so we'll take it. Be right back. It's 10-8, Wheaton College. They lead 2 games to nothing.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well, and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, so, and UMass helped me. I wanted to be able to improve myself. I wanted to be able to try new things, and I think UMass gave me a really good head start on that.
What do we mean when we say UMass is here for a reason? We mean that the 5-campus UMass system is the only public research university that the people of Massachusetts established to create better futures for themselves, but also for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as a whole. It's a university that educates 73,000 students every day and graduates 17,000 graduates every year. We are the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We're one of the state's 3 major academic research engines: research that saves and improves people's lives, and research that drives the innovation economy of Massachusetts. We provide services and economic opportunity to every region of the Commonwealth. The noted historian David McCullough once said that two great
We'll hop right back into it. Zoe Franz on the heels of 5 consecutive service point wins. We have had that as the story in all 3 games tonight for Wheaton College. They've just caught a roll. The Beacons are hanging around in this game number 3. They were just up 5-8. As we have a long-standing volley right now. Hamilton's kill, saved by Amelia C. Cross-court pass to Garrity. Hamilton saves it. Tiscareno right where she needed to be. Got it over both lines of the defense. And there you go. That's what the Beacons needed. Just put a little stop to the run that Wheat was on. It's Tiscareno. Her rotation will take her off the floor, but she'll head right back to the lineup. The Beacons, just a point that they needed more than really any other point tonight. They're back on the offensive. Garrity almost hits the scoreboard on that save. Instead, she'll set herself up for a kill attempt. Another diving save by Hamilton, but she can't do it 2 times in a row. That's Taryn Brugal, 5'10", skying up, slamming it down. The Beacons are tied back with the Lions. 10-10 right now in this 3rd game. First of 3 games win, and wow, a great serve from number 4, Tony Guerra, the true freshman. Put that right in the chest of Ariana Rajayi. Nowhere she could go, nothing she could do with it. Service ace for the freshman out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. And she is vying for her 3rd straight service point win. Almost got it there, but Franz with the back set. Amelia C. Pass right into the middle. Taryn Brugal can't finish it as the dive by Coco keeps it alive. And the block at the net by Bailey Madrick puts it right out of the reach of Carson Kamensk. Really nice job by Wheaton not blinking there. They got themselves a little 3-point lead after that run. Let the Beacons come right back into it, and then answer on a tough volley to tie it back at 11. Mishits abound on that possession. It kind of came off Garrity's pass a little ugly, a little too low for Kamensk. It's an error and a point for Wheaton College. The Lions just 2-3 on the season in their conference play. The Beacons 1-2 in conference. Strong non-conference schedule for the Lions, and they're trying to get another non-conference win. 1 point closer to it as Allie Dean cannot save that on the dive with her right hand. (13-11). It's Adara Hamilton serving for the Lions, and you know what? She caught a run in the first game. She's really had more of a presence near the net. But that's another service ace as it goes off the hands of, I believe that was Guerra on the dive. So it's a service ace for Adara Hamilton. She's just doing a little bit of everything. And the big players making big plays for Wheaton College as they're back up 3. Well, a nice play by Carson Kamensk there. That was off schedule. She slides to her right, now with the block at the net, and give her the kill. And we got an illegal touching by the Lions, by Bailey Madrick. So how about Carson Kamensk playing on the front line? Just 5'7", giving up 5 inches to Bailey Madrick. And, you know, live to tell the story. The Beacons get the point. They're back to within 2. It's Beacons 12, Lions 14. Alyssa Ruan on for the serve. Line drive serve. Franz saves the dive by Rajayi. Not much Dean could do with that. Came in hot and high. She tried to pass it forward. Instead, it skews over to our buddy Seth at the scorer's table there. It hits off the scoreboard, and it's another point for Wheaton College. Bailey Madrick, she swings to her left, then runs around to the right before serving it. That ball in a no man's land. Commons covers some ground to keep it alive. Ruan didn't want anything to do with it, and ultimately, all Amelia C. could do on that play was hit it into the net. No real miscommunication there, just a well-aimed serve by a good volleyball player in Bailey Madrick. And now you take a look at the scoreboard. And it's the witching hour for the Beacon. The score is 16-12. They have been in all 3 of these games, but have let a service game run kind of take them out of contention. Well, right now, Wheaton gets 9 points before you can get 13. Well, this whole game's over. So let's see what Coach Houlihan draws up. He has his assistant, Amy Umel, right to his right hand. They're conversing as he calls over a couple of the captains. Quick team meeting at the bench for the Beacons as Coach Houlihan, in his 8th season leading the Beacons, trying to pull out something here. Coach Houlihan, an alum of Nazareth College. The 6 in front of him right now, Amelia Japieska, Tony Guerra, Allie Dean, Alyssa Ruan, Taryn Brugal, and Carson Comets. Those are going to be the 7 on the floor. Or pardon me, the 6 on the floor when we come back from the rotation for the Beacons. Meanwhile, you look at Wheaton College, and it's their star players, more or less, making the big plays for them in this contest. Emily Hickey having a quiet night by her standards, but Bailey Madrick, Adara Hamilton just winning on the front line, and Zoe Franz having a phenomenal service night. 50% server, looking like it tonight. And it's Bailey Madrick now doing the serving. She's won her last 2 points. Allie Dean, a beautiful pass there. And Carson Comets with a dive to keep that play alive goes right into the net stanchion. We bring the mop out there as she laid it on the line. I'm not quite sure what happened there because Allie Dean was exactly where she wanted to be. Looked like the ball came off the way it needed to. Good form on the pass. And where Amelia C was maybe setting up her backside kill attempt because really Carson Comets was the only player there. She tries to dive. Only 5'7". You need to be 6'7" to make that play alive. She'll get another try. And this time the set goes right where it needs to. And a big kill by Amelia C. Using that 6-foot frame to her advantage. Swings through with the right hand. And gets a point off of the hands of Juliana Flack. It's 13-17. The Beacons are staying in it. They hope off this Taryn Brugal serve game that they can keep some points lined together. Adara Hamilton, the return, over. And wow, a diving attempt by Taryn Brugal. That one would have been in regardless. It does hit off her left hand. It is a point for Wheaton College. And that music might be playing in the distance for the Beacons tonight. They came into action tonight trying to get to 500 on the season. As I mentioned, all they have to do is win a game. When they win a game, they win the match. And right now, they have to win 12 points before Wheaton College wins 7. That's a fortuitous bounce for Wheaton. Kos on the kill attempt. It's comfortably saved by the Lions, but that hit by Anna Shaheen kind of skews off kilter. Beacons right where they need it to be. They'll take that point back, and it will send Carson Comets back to the service line here. She starts her run up all the way back at the basketball baseline. A two-handed bounce. That's a deep serve on a line. It is controlled by Raja'i. It's going to be an Adara Hamilton two-handed hit over. And now Wheaton can set up a look here. That was Shaheen. She missed the last point. She converts on this point. Left side swing right down into the middle of the hardwood. And Wheaton College back up 5 in this third and final game. It is 19-14. And it's Isabella Coco to serve again. For Wheaton College, this is her third look from the service line tonight. A 5'6" sophomore from San Marcos, California. Kind of swings down on that serve, and I think that's an illegal touching by Carson Comets. Yes, it is. Got her hand over the net too early. Point for Coca and the Lions, and it's Isabella Coca back with her Wheaton College Lions just 5 points away from the match win. Wow, it was a great pass over by Amelia C., but right place, right time. And Megan Kelleher, tall player, 6 foot, in the middle of the floor. Kind of easy to forget about her tonight, and then right when you forget about her, she'll make 2 or 3 big plays in a row at the net. That was one right there. Coca's serve does go long, though. Allie Dean making a lot of good decisions in that regard. She knew that that ball was going to swing long. She lets it fall. The Beacons staying alive, but once again, really have to anchor down on the hopes of getting a service game run here. And it's one of the tall outside hitters. Amelia Japiuski runs in. Had a block serve going left to right. It'll set up an Adara Hamilton swing kill. No, it's saved by Comets. Back to Dean. Over to Kos. Wow, somehow the Beacons keep that one alive, and it's a long pass all the way back to Coca. It will set up a Kelleher kill. No, Commons saves it backward. Tiscareno over her head. It's a free-for-all right now. Oh, a strong hit-through on the play by Emily Hickey, and that will finally end that point. Goodness gracious, there were bodies flying all over the place for about 10 seconds on that volley. Ultimately, a beautifully set up kill by Emily Hickey. Wheaton's 5'9" offside hitter out of Kennebunk, Maine. And now Wheaton College. Not a foregone conclusion, but they send one of their best servers, in Ariana Rajayi, to the service line to try and end this contest. And that won't help, because that one goes long, well long. Alex Coase wisely lets that one pass right by. Basically, you got to take any point in any means you can get it right now if you're the Beacons. So I'm sure they love to see that they're still within 6. It's 22-16. Wheaton College leading in Game 3. They're leading the match 2 games to nothing. Oh, Tiscareno, I thought she got the placement. Bailey Madrick, so good at the net, keeps it alive. Commons, back. And that is a Brugal slam. Taryn Brugal, number 19 for the Beacons. She gets another kill. That's her first of game number 3. And the Beacons 2 consecutive points. There you go. You don't care how you get them. You just hope that you do. 17-22. Another Ali Dean serve. That one posts Coca back long, but it sets up Emily Hickey. And goodness, a clinical placement on that strike by Emily Hickey. Nothing anyone on the back line of the Beacons could do about it. And the Wheaton College Lions 2 points away from closing this out and earning their 10th win on the season. It's Zoe Franz. She really got the party started in game number 1 with a lot of good serving and assist play. Well, Marcel Tiscareno, she's having herself a fantastic night. Might as well get another one for the highlight reel. Beautiful kill. The Beacons still trailing 18-23 in this 3rd game. They look to freshman Tony Guerra to maybe get that spark on the service line, keep them afloat here. Flat-handed serve. It pushes the return back. And is that in? No, it is not. It goes out. Adora Hamilton pleading her case with the referee. So the referee is saying that that ball didn't touch anyone at the net and that Adora Hamilton hit it out. She's right there pleading her case that that ball got touched by UMass Beacon. The ref siding with the Beacons. Quick discussion now as we will try and get to the bottom of this here. Hamilton seems convinced that made contact with the Beacons player at the line. So while we try to get to the bottom of that, no, the official ruling is mishit, out of bounds. It's another .1 right now by the Beacons. And so it looks like on the play, Coach Letourneau, he's going to bring his ladies back to the bench and talk it over. 1 minute until we come back, so let's take a quick break here. It is 23-19, Wheaton College leading this 3rd game.
Concepts, university and Massachusetts come together in only one place, and we are very aware of how fortunate we are to bear the name, the University of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
My name is Tyler Hart. Being on the track and field team here is the greatest decisions I've made besides coming to UMass Boston. When you train together in that sort of intensity, you build a sort of a bond with people who are training with you. You know, it's like a higher level of friendship. It's like teammates, it's just a different level. My freshman year, I got a Rookie Athlete of the Year. Outdoor for my sophomore year, I was the first time I went to nationals. When I jump, it's a little difficult considering I have hereditary disorder known as amblyopia.
There we go.
It's pretty much just a partial.
Well, the Beacons hanging on by a thread. They trail 19-23. Tony Guerra, her 2nd straight service point. Zoe Franz with the set. And Adora Hamilton, and while she has something to say to the referee, that's not really, you don't want to see that when you are 1 point away from winning a match in a clean sweep. But Adora Hamilton, she does convert that point. And it did look very similar to the point on the last play. So she might have a point to her argument. As it is, Wheaton College won the first game 25-20. They won the second game 25-16. Adara Hamilton trying to close out this match from the service line. Commons, overhead pass, Amelia C. It's bumped up by Franz. Over to Rajayi. Hamilton's going to have to flat hit it over. Blocked at the net by Brugal. Franz, back cross court. The placement swing is kept alive by Guerra. Commons with the two-handed pass over. Franz, once again, they go with the backside kill look. Blocked at the net again. And that will do it. It is an illegal touching on the play. And that'll do it. I believe that's the 25th point. That is it. That is all. Yeah, that will do it. So confirmation, it was a mishit, an illegal touching, and that will be a match win. Well, let's see. Hold the phone here. Carson Commons talk to the referee on the play, trying to get final word. Make the cross court by to Coach Houlihan one more time. And that will do it right there. That is all she wrote. So the Beacons, they hang tough this whole contest, but in each of the 3 games, there is a long service run that really put the game out of reach. It was Adara Hamilton carrying the load in game number 1. You had Sophie Wilhelm adding some support on the outside, and Bailey Madrick inside, outside, it doesn't matter. She did what she needed to do. So with that, the Beacons do move to 6-8 on the season with the loss. Wheaton College now 10-5. One more time, the final in game 3. Wheaton College wins game 3, 25-19. They win the match, 3 games to nothing.
Blindness in the left eye. The best way to describe it is if you have decent prescriptions for contact lenses, you take one of the lenses out, and then you put your hand over the eye with that lens. That's my vision. I rely more on my steps as opposed to my visual perception of how far away the bar is. And since I can't see out of my left eye, I had to sit on the far left-hand side of the class. Hopefully coach for a few years, and coach some high school kids, maybe even coach on a college level as like an assistant coach, and go to PA school, and then do a 5-year program and try to get my loans paid back, and then go from there.
We graduate 17,000 students every year, and the vast majority of them stay in Massachusetts. We have over 280,000 graduates in Massachusetts today. We graduate people in critical fields, engineering, STEM fields. We graduate people with research experience where they can start their own companies. It is amazing to see what UMass graduates accomplish once they leave the university. I remember vividly my own graduation from UMass. It was a beautiful day. It was perfect weather. I remember the pride that my mother and father felt. I could see it in their eyes. Here it is, 30 years later, I get an opportunity to preside over UMass commencement. It is so moving and inspiring for me to think this is what it's for. Here we are, we have these graduates that we're going to unleash on the world, ready to take on the world, happy about the accomplishment, but also hopeful about the future. It's hard not to...
Chris Del Sordo here on the court side with Coach Houlihan. Disappointing 3-0 loss against Wheaton College. The Beacons vying to get their 7th win on the season. Coach, anytime you have to go against Adara Hamilton and Bailey Madrick, they're going to present challenges for you. What did those two specifically do today to instill their presence on this match against your guys' will?
I mean, they just were able to run their offense. That's really what it boiled to, and we weren't able to, so that's really what it was.
Some bright spots on the floor. Marcel Tiscareno, strong showing around the net, as she always does. Carson Commons covering ground like she always does. Couldn't get to 500 on the game tonight, but what did you see moving forward at a 6-8 mark in the season that gets you excited about what you can get out of your ladies for the upcoming part of the year?
I think the good thing is I see a lot of things out there that are working and clicking, but I also see a lot of things that aren't working and clicking, so their stats mean nothing until we can all get it together on the entire team's front.
And you have a couple of young players that are really entering the rotation. You have Tony Garrett, one to be specific. What do you see out of the youth movement of this team, the young players that you can get out of them, as we move forward?
Yeah, they're just getting their kind of feet wet a little bit with experience, so it's exciting to see them in there and competing. We just got to clean it up.
It was a scrappy fight from the Beacons in all 3 games. They kept it close, especially in games 1 and 3. They do fall 3-0. They're 6-8 on this young season. Thanks, Coach. Side serve gets across, back set, block. hitter there. That's Amelia Zapopieska. No good. Stuffed at the line. Lions have to reset another. That's set into the middle of the floor here. Beacon swinging on the outside. Service point wins in a row. Wow, great dive there by Allie Dean, the right-handed save. Set up Comics right to the middle.
Get emotional at a UMass graduation. You see that UMass is here for the Commonwealth, here for a reason. I came from a working class family. I grew up in a hard-edged section of Lowell, Massachusetts, and I lived with my 6 siblings and my parents in a 4-bedroom house that had 1 bathroom. I knew that the only way that I was going to get to where I wanted to get to was if I got a high-quality college education, and I had the University of Massachusetts right in my hometown. It made a difference. I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I think with that comes a special responsibility as a steward, as a protector. Every student that I see that walks through the door, I mean, I see myself, I was exactly where they are now. I had their same challenges, their same aspirations, their same dreams. And it makes me want to fight for them. It makes me want to make sure that they get every opportunity that I got. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
We want to do theater that is responsible. We want to do music that is evocative and elevates us. We want to do dance that reflects urban movement and connection. I've been a practicing designer for the last 30 years. My specialty is costumes. This space is fantastic. This is our recital hall, and it's so outstanding that many people compare it to the symphony hall because the quality of sound is like nothing in town. And there is the painting studio, the sculpture studio, the digital studio. The type of students that we're getting, they're more competitive. They're looking for these kind of facilities. They look at other private colleges, but then decide to come here. Boston is filled with regional theaters, so our students can actually apply what they're learning and build a portfolio. And it's so great to see their names on the programs, and people may not know they're from UMass Boston, but eventually as they graduate and they begin to get professional jobs and you see their bios, that's going to be UMass Boston. It's going to be the stamp all over. UMass Boston represents what true liberal arts is about. In my class, you have students who are psychologists, business, chemistry. The final goal is that we have well-rounded global citizens graduating from UMass Boston.
My name is Albie Daly. I'm from Able Park, New York. I'm a forward on the UMass Boston men's hockey team, and my current major is exercise and health sciences. Being a member of the men's hockey team is a tremendous honor just because being able to play collegiate sport while pursuing my dreams of becoming a physical therapist and studying what I'd like to in school means a lot. My favorite memory as a member of the men's hockey team would probably be a big goal that I scored last year, the NCAA quarterfinals. ECAC's quarterfinals against University of New England.
What a turn in momentum!
Just because it was a big boost for both myself and our team moving forward.
Perfect shot right there over the shoulder of the goaltender Trost.
Frozen Fenway was just our outdoor game at Fenway Park, and it was a tremendous experience. I think both for me and the guys on the team and the program as a whole. But we got to see the Red Sox locker room, which was an awesome experience, and just being at Fenway Park when you go to school in Boston is second to none, really, and that's what you look for, when you're trying to experience collegiate athletics, and it's a really cool thing to be a part of. Being a student athlete at UMass Boston is a tremendous honor just because it gives you the chance to really focus on your studies in a great academic environment while pursuing what you want athletically, so it's a pretty powerful thing.
We are back here at the Clark Center. It was a hard-fought 3-0 loss for the Beacons. As you take a look at the stats, really, Coach Houlihan touched on it. It was that cleanliness of play. Said he got to clean it up. Take a look at the numbers right there. Hitting percentage says it all. Almost equal numbers of kills. The Beacons 28 net point kills. Wheaton College with 31. But that number, it's glaring. It's right in front of you. A 5.3 hitting percentage for the Beacons. The Wheaton Lions 17.5. I don't need to tell you the disparity in that. Basically, 4 out of every 20 hits landing for a point for Wheaton College. 1 out of every 20 for the Beacons. That's how, unfortunately, that's how a volleyball match gets won or lost. 47 digs for the Beacons to 41 for Wheaton. They're playing great defense out there, but just 3 aces to 11, and that's how we got 2. 3 games to nothing. Now let's take a look at the team leaders. Amelia C., I called her name a lot. It was a great night on the offensive end for her. 12 kills, 37.5% hitting percentage. Carson Commons did everything asked of her, and then some. 22 assists out there. Unfortunately, all for naught. Allie Dean leading the way. That libero, that defensive talent, 50 digs. For Wheaton College, Juliana Flack didn't expect all that much out of her next to Bailey Madrick. And Emily Hick, she has the big night at the net with 9 kills. Emily Hick, big swinging from the outside, 38.5% hitting percentage. We talked about Zoe Franz. She was doing everything asked of her. Assist game, service game. She led the way with 50 assists. And then Ariana Rajai just running the floor, running the show, the floor general, the libero, 10 dig. Adara Hamilton, 5 aces, and really it was her service game taking over the middle of the contest that really put it away for the Wheaton College Lions. Personally, I would like to thank our production team for tonight's contest. You look at them right there, our producer, Seth Orensky, our director, Nicholas Brandt, and Nick Suma. Our instant replay tech, Allie Crawford, and 4 camera operators, Pam Landry, Danny Palazzo, Kelsey Ryan, and Mary Jo Murphy. I, Christel Sordo, thank you so much for welcoming me to the broadcast booth. It was a fun night, a night that ends in a Beacon defeat. Wheaton 3,